Forward. All right, so we're going to go an hour and a half on this last section, and it's all going to be about insurance free. Before I do, I need a lead person for 95.5 rule over here, psychology. So who wants to be my person says, hey, remember, focus on condition, focus on condition. Who wants to be that person? Spread it out. Spread it out. Anybody could be the lead.
I volunteer to be.
Voluntold. Izzy's voluntold. All right, Izzy, you got it. You're just reminding us to do it, okay? You're just reminding us to do it. That's all. All right, case presentation formula. Our lead is going to be Doctor. So, Doctor, and I said I was going to email you that attachment. I'm going to send it now so you can share it with the team. PowerPoint. It's in my PowerPoint folder for some reason. And we're going to put it in there. I'm sure I've sent it to you before. And I think I handed it out at the retreat, but I want you to have it. Yeah, we'll get it to you again here. All right, Mark Boren. Verizon.net?
Yes.
All right, on its way. Cool. Now, we're going to talk about insurance free this last hour and a half section. A lot of people sometimes clinical will go, oh, Karen, this is all you. When actually it's all of us. We all play a role. As you can hear in everything that we teach and train, it takes all of us saying the same things. Can't have one person over here saying something completely different than the rest of us are saying. We've all got to be using the same verbiage. So I want to have us understand the numbers a bit first, and then we're going to talk about the plan. And then so research, then it's plan, and then it's execute. And we're all going to understand all three phases of that. Okay. So research, let's start there. Execute. So, Doctor, you and I have been doing some research. We've been looking at insurances, the percentage of patients in each insurance plan in your practice, and looking at numbers. We want this decision to be a numbers decision, not an emotional one, because I will run into doctors and they'll be super frustrated and they'll go, I just resigned from insurance yesterday. Nobody knew, just pulled the plug, catastrophic decision, problem, emotional business decision. That's not what we want to do. We make a smart business decision. We're going to create phases. Our plan is going to have phases to execute this. So we have a high success rate at the other side. So Doctor and I have been working on this, for about 8 months. I mean, we've been working together for a year. November was our 1-year anniversary of us dating, Doctor. I don't know if you know that or not. So I'm thinking about making it official soon.
Oh, okay.
We'll move beyond dating. We'll move to the next level. Yeah. All right. So, Doctor, just share, just so we don't take them through all the numbers and everything, just share some, what were some realization moments that you had during the research part of the insurance that I had you do? You did some numbers for me.
I don't know if any of it was really aha necessarily, because I knew what was going on and why I never did anything about it long ago. I don't know, but I suppose just looking at at how much we were reducing our fees, and just, I mean, how large a sum accumulated and what a gigantic difference it would make to quit participating. That's more of a general statement. I don't know if
I agree.
It's just been
I agree.
for a long time. But I guess once I sat down and finally said, okay, this is going to be the plan. Yes, when I did start looking at the fee schedules, and adding up everything, it is an aha moment at that time when you actually look at the numbers. So
let me help the team. I mean, how many of you are really numbers people? You love numbers, you like numbers, you're okay talking about numbers. Just who are those people, the nerds like me? Okay, three or four. Okay, so For the rest of you, this is important, okay? Totally fine that you're not numbers people. That's totally fine. Let's use 100 as our dollar, 100 pennies, right? It's our dollar. That's the going rate for something. In dentistry, most practices, it takes about 75 cents on the dollar to run the practice. Pay the overhead, keep the lights on, pay the employees, pay the lab bill, dental supplies, pay the coach, all the stuff. Okay, you guys got it?
Mm-hmm.
That means doc gets 25 cents. All right. You now have a patient who comes in, MetLife. Doesn't matter, any of the plans. The average write-off rate is 43%. So when you get 58 cents to see that patient, doctor took 18 cents out of his pocket and gave it to the patient. You would have to see so many patients on the hour. All right, Lauren, Luanda, you guys are seeing 2 patients an hour now. We'll go faster, faster, faster. You get it? You got to somehow create 2 out of 1 just to have profit. And this is what the clinic will do. When you provide Bloomingdale, Saks Fifth Avenue, Nordstrom level care like you do, I don't know, a Walmart price? What do you guys want to use? Walmart? Is that okay? I know Wally World's big, so I don't want to offend anybody who loves Walmart, but I mean, it's cheap to go there, right?
Yeah.
Can you find anybody to help you find anything in that store? Customer service low. Quality may be okay in some things, maybe not others, but the price is going to be cheap. Well, what you've done is said, we're the best. We have the best customer service. We provide the best service. And here's a Walmart price. You see how it creates a challenge? Okay. All right. Here's some more research for you. Karen mentioned HMO before. Karen, describe what an HMO plan is.
It's where the insurance company basically gives their subscribers a specific office that they have to go to. So that office has contracted and says, oh, we'll take $10 for every exam patient of yours that we see.
Okay, I'm going to take it one step further for you. Have you ever worked for an HMO practice?
I did a temp job at
Okay,
one.
so here's how it works. This is how it works. I want to give you guys the whole behind the scenes, okay? I'm HMO company. Dr. Boren, I would like to send you $10,000 a month, every month. You just need to sign up for our HMO program right here. Young dentist signs it, sends it back. By the way, Dr. Boren, you cannot charge your patients anything. There will be no reimbursement for any services at all that you do for them. Everything will be written off, 100% write-off, but you get the $10,000 every month. Now, do you want to see any of those patients?
No.
You just want the $10,000 a month. That's an HMO. You need to understand that, because when a patient calls you up and says, yeah, you take my insurance. Why don't you take my insurance? Well, let me share something with you. Okay. You with me so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Microphone's on, right? We got audio. We're headed to this is the final stretch here, guys. Okay. This is the final stretch. All right. Stay with me. Stay with me here. HMO, way down here. Don't want to mess with it. Everybody agreed with that? We don't want to do that. We want to do quality dentistry. We don't want to avoid patients. PPO. How to understand PPO is when your office fee is 100, we use 100, the PPO rate's 58, and you got to write off the difference. You write off 43% of everything. So if your crown fee is 1,500, which is about the going rate right now, maybe 1,350 to 1,500, somewhere in that range. Let's say 1,300. If your crown fee is 1,300, the PPO rate's going to be 43% reduced off of that. We'll call it $800. They pay half of that. They pay $400. You have to write off $500, more than the insurance company is even paying you. And the patient's responsible for $400. That $500 you wrote off was your profit. Imagine me saying to all of you, we're working, it's the middle of the day. Hey guys, we got a PPO patient coming in. I know you guys normally make $25 an hour, but today for this patient in this hour, you're all going to make $15 an hour now.
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
That's not going to work. Well, then we got to just see more patients. We got to go more, hard. Just sweat it out. You get it? That's the only way to solve that problem. Out of
And
net.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
No, please do.
the reason that I decided to get out was because of what you're talking about, was because I knew there was no way with reimbursement never going up that I could just keep working harder and harder and harder and getting older and older and older and then not enjoying what I'm doing.
100% agree.
You'd rather get out, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to get
Have you heard, that's so good. No, I really appreciate you sharing that. Have you guys heard of other offices in your area getting out of network with insurances lately?
I think more so like fee for service, but I've never heard of.
Okay.
Well, that's out of network.
I know
That's how people say it.
I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard some of them.
Okay. All right.
Highly nature.
And Lauren, absolutely. Here's what I wrote down, Lauren. These initials mean something to me. I wrote down HMO, PPO, OON, FFS. Out of network fee for service. I need you to understand all four of those. Okay, HMO you got, PPO you understand, out of network fee for service. Here's what happens with MetLife. When you're in network, you agree to write off the 43%. I am now, let's say, out of network. I will now charge $100 to my patient for that pro fee. Let's call it a pro fee, a preventive service. $100. Before, I was getting $58 and writing off $42. Now, I bill MetLife for the $100 electronically. The check comes back to me. I look at the EOB. It says amount submitted $100, amount approved $100, amount paid $100 by MetLife. MetLife just paid me $100 because I'm out of network for the same exact service they were asking me to write off.
We
My
just
next-
had with a patient, remember Dr. Borden, I showed you, it was MetLife. If for whatever reason, they were saying that we were out of network with them, even though we're in network with MetLife, and they paid more than what we charged. Because we charged the MetLife, it was crazy.
They paid the UCR instead of the fee schedule. Yep. Some plans are mandatory out of network processing. And Massachusetts just passed a law, 80% of their revenue for any insurance company has to be paid out. This is a really good thing. So I want to explain what's happening here, because your mind is now saying, why would we be in network then? Does that cross your mind? Right? Because years and years and years and years ago, the fee for a pro fee was $58. And we were in network and we were fine with it. Or it was $68 and we were just okay with that. And then the fee went up, and guess what the insurance company did? In fact, they're going further down. They're reducing the fees now for in-network. And their insurance premiums are going up. They're creating a bigger gap. Delta Dental, total revenue. Delta Dental of California, total revenue last year. Anybody want to take a guess? Their total revenue for subscriber payments. Anybody, doctor, don't say. I want to hear from the team here because I might have told you this. Team, what do you think just California, Delta's revenue in 2021 was?
Gonna be in the billion.
We're talking like billion, million.
Billion.
What do you
2
think?
billion.
2 billion. All right, who said 2 billion?
Lauren.
Lauren. Okay. Anybody want to give another guess?
I'm gonna say a lot more than that.
Okay, double it.
Sure.
$4.3 billion total revenue. Most teams, when I ask that question, they say 50 million, 100 million, maybe 500 million. They never figure that it's billion. You've been on point today, Lauren. It's crazy. Their CEOs are getting paid by state, by the way, not one of them, by state. There's 38 Delta Dentals are getting paid anywhere from $15 to $43 million a year.
I bet.
38 of them. Yeah, we might be in the wrong business. So here's the deal. Is the insurance company out to make a profit or to do what's healthy for your patient?
Making a profit.
We know this. Why do patients say to us, why isn't my insurance covering this? Because they're in it for a profit. That's why. That's the real answer. We can't say that, but that's the answer. Now, what you guys can all do is explain all this to your people out there that you interact with whenever they're like, oh, you're going to talk down on me. And you're out at the bar and you're having a good time. And you can tell them, you can say, look, here's what's really going on, right? Because they don't know this. You'll do everyone a service. Out of network means they're going to accept my fee. Now, you couldn't charge $300 for a pro fee instead of $100, charge $300 and they're going to pay that. They have something called MAC, maximum allowable charge. Historically, it used to be UCR, usual, customary, reasonable fee. Okay. Both are synonymous. Basically saying, hey, don't try to charge us $200 for a pro fee. We're not paying that, even though it says 100%. So they set a ceiling. And a lot of times they'll set the ceiling about 10% lower than the going rate. So now they're going to pay you $90. The patient's got to pay $10. When you go out of network, is what we're talking about. When you go out of network and you're writing off 42% on average, that means you could lose, if you had 500 patients, let's say you had 100 patients in that plan, you could lose 42 of those patients, and the 58 who stay are paying 42% more to make up the difference. The analogy is like this. One of our colleagues, Dr. Gray, he's an endodontist. I helped him do this with Delta, and he explained it like this to his associate. Right now, I'm doing 8 root canals a day, and I'm getting paid for 4. I'm doing the 8 root canals, getting paid for 4. I'd rather do 6 root canals a day and get paid for 6. Make sense? Love it. He came up with that analogy. I cannot take credit for it. It's a beautiful analogy. Lauren, Luanda, right now, you're doing 8 pro fees a day. You're getting paid for about 4.5 of them. Even if you did 6 a day and you had 2 open hours, we're still going to be better off. And we'll build the schedule up if we need to. But right now, you're booked so far out, you have a busy problem anyway. Honestly, who cares if 15% of your patients leave at this point? I don't mean to be harsh. I care about them. But if they left, is that going to be the worst thing in the world for your schedule? No. Because I know Karen is going to have the schedule filled, right, with patients. And now those insurance companies are going to pay you your actual fee. This year, inflation was at 8.8%, 1 year. In 20 years, before this year, in 20 years of dentistry, the inflation rate in dentistry has been 20% with a fee increase equal to about 4%. That meant we didn't keep our fees going up as inflation and costs went up. Doctor, do you remember, I don't know, let's call it 2000, okay? 99, 2000. Remember Y2K? Remember that was a thing?
I did.
All right. About that time, do you have any idea? Let's compare something like what maybe a lab bill. What was a crown in 99, 2000?
When lab bill or the fee for a crown?
Yeah. What did your lab charge you for a crown? What was the lab bill for a crown?
I don't know, probably $120 maybe. I don't know, for run of the mill crown.
What are you paying now? What are you paying now for that?
It's about the same. That's
Yeah.
one thing that hasn't gone up.
Has not changed.
What's that?
It hasn't changed?
Well, it depends on what you're talking about. If we're talking about a zirconia crown on a posterior tooth, that hasn't really gone up. And I think part of that's technology. It's easier for me now.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about anterior stuff, well, that's a different story.
Okay. I've typically heard, like, I see it $250 to $300.
Yeah, $200 would be on the low end of a nice, a decent lab.
So what we're saying from a percentage, it's doubled. That's 100% increase in the rate. Okay, even if it went up $50, it's a 50% increase in the cost.
Yeah.
When I started, Karen, when I started, you tell me how close I am. I was making $8.50 an hour working up front. Okay.
Well, I got you beat because I started at 925.
Woo! All right.
And that was back in 89.
All right. When you're running this show and you're making all decisions at $8, $9, $10 an hour, has that changed? It's 2.5 times that now. It's at least, you're in that $18 to $23 an hour range. It's doubled. Now, doctor, let's go back. What was your crown fee in 2000?
It was probably about $1,000.
Okay. All right. So has it doubled? Are you charging 2000 for a crown now?
No.
No. Do you get the analogy, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. The costs have 50% to 100% increased, but our fees have not done that. That's the point. When the insurance company also suppresses that and you have 8.5% inflation this year, you see how that creates a real problem?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, let's all be honest. Raise your hand if you want a raise every year. Let's be honest. You want a raise every year? Yeah. My job is to get you the best raise. Yeah, Dr. Mort. Yeah.
You too.
You too. Yes. Now, my job is to get you the best raise possible. That's my job. We do that through getting case acceptance because Dr. Boren is going to be getting a raise so nice that he's going to say, yeah, absolutely. Let's do the normal raise we can do. Let's keep doing that because he wants to keep great people working for his office. Is that fair, Dr. Boren?
Very.
Okay, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here. But if I've been in your shoes, I've been there. I want to make more money. Everything out there is getting more expensive. Gas prices are going up. Everything. The only thing that didn't go up was a stamp. You know why the stamp didn't go up? Because it says forever on the stamp. That's the only thing that didn't go up. And I guarantee you, if you go buy them, they're probably more expensive. I don't know. I'm just kidding. So here's important thing to understand about out of network. Yes, I do get to charge my regular UCR rate out of network, but the insurance check still comes to me, even though I'm out of network. 90 to 95% of the time. That means only 5 to 10% of the plans out there are PPO only. What I mean by that is if you resign from MetLife, let's take Cigna. Cigna has a plan for AT&T retirees, okay? Cigna has multiple levels of participation. And when you go out of network with Cigna, 95% of the plans still pay you, and they pay you MAC, they pay you that ceiling, whatever that is, it's in that range, right in there, except for this AT&T retires plan. They go, nope, you have no benefits there. Like that medical insurance when you go out of network, a true PPO only plan. When you look at PPO, I noticed Karen writing it down when I used the phrase open network. Remember that? I saw you writing that down.
That's exactly what I wrote down.
It's a killer term, and I can't take credit for it. An office gave me that term. So when you look at a breakdown of benefits, they give you these two columns. It's got preventive, restorative, major. It'll say 100% preventive, in network. Out of network, 100%. Restorative, in network, 80%. Out of network, 80. Major, 50-50. Now, as long as your fee isn't irregular, astronomical, they're going to pay a percentage of that fee. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Even if we were taking a 10% hit on your regular fee, it's better than 42%. Simple math. Now, what's the last difference? Fee for service. I heard Lauren mention fee for service. Fee for service means you're going to pay me, the patient is going to pay me, the office. I'm going to bill the insurance, and insurance is going to reimburse you. Now that would play a role with like Blue Cross Blue Shield. Remember the phone call? Oh, we don't deal with them. Remember that? That would be a fee for service situation where to have the patient pay me and have them reimbursed. Heck, I would see that patient as a new patient for free when she was talking about that case. Loss leader anyway. I'd figure out something. I'd remove that friction, get that patient. The more I think about it, the more it drives me bonkers. So we will work with you. We will figure out how to make it work. 5 to 10% of the time, it's not going to work. I'm willing to take that loss, that risk, to lose 10% of the people. Maybe even I see them on accident and I'm like, oh, I had to write that off. But man, that's a lot better than writing off 42%. I thought it was this, it ended up being that. It's still worth the risk of getting that patient in. Maybe they fall in love with this and they're willing to pay out of pocket when they find out, oh, dang it. But you know what? We're not going to make you pay for it. We're going to pay for that first one. That's on us. That's rarely going to happen. When a patient calls up an out-of-network practice and they say, do you take my insurance? What is the answer?
Yes.
Yes, of course we do. In fact, how it works is we bill your insurance for you electronically, they reimburse us directly, and all you're responsible for is the copay that they require. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're not going to be fee for service. That's not what we're doing unless it's with Blue Cross Blue Shield. And doctor, we're Delta Dental Premier, right?
Yes, we are.
We're going to hold on to that. That is for another discussion, another time. Right now, we are dealing, I got a list here. Right now, we're talking about Aetna, DHA, MetLife, Cigna, Principal, Emeritus, Mavrist, Guardian, Humana, Sun Life, GEHA, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas. Those types of insurances, and so on.
Yeah, there's 5 of them that I'm sending the letter to soon. MetLife
Okay.
first. And then,
A lot of those are under their umbrella.
Little fees, remember?
oh,
They go-
Yeah.
gotcha. I don't understand any of that.
They
So, yeah, they're all under this umbrella where they're all connected in what's called the Premier Access group, where it's like Guardian, Humana, all those, right? And what they do is they lease out contracts. You sign up with, I had this happen with a doctor. He's like, I didn't sign up with all those. He signed up with Guardian. Next thing you know, he signed up with Humana, United Healthcare, Concordia, all these plans that he signed up with. Never intended to sign up with them, but they lease out their fee schedules.
So we're going out of network with Guardian. But once I send them the letter, does that mean there are gonna be some Guardians that I won't be out of network with because they're tied into something else? I'm using that as an example.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. You got to go out with all of those that are in that umbrella at the same time.
I just don't know what all of those are.
We don't know. But what you don't want is for them to put you back in. Now, Karen, if this happens, let's say you goes out of network with Guardian and you're out of network, all of a sudden the leaseholder was Humana and we didn't know it. And we didn't go out of network with Humana. They might slam Guardian back in. You call up Guardian and go, no. We did not sign up with you. We don't have a contract with you anymore. Reimburse us the right rate. You just got to make that phone call. Okay.
Okay.
Some of us are old enough to remember the term slamming between AT&T and all the other phone companies, right?
Yes.
They would just auto enroll you in some other phone plan and all of a sudden your phone bill changed. This is exactly what's happening with insurance companies. And they're just scrambling to be profitable. They're buying contracts and leasing contracts out and saying, hey, I've got 3 dentists over here who are network. Who do you got? And they're equally putting each other in these plans. So we're not going to be fee for service. We're going to be out of network. The plan is to go out with them a few at a time. We don't want to tackle all of them at the same time. So doctor mentioned 5 of them, right? That's the plan. And so go ahead, doctor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay. So to execute this, we have a role as a team. We have a role to play. I'm going to make a note here so I don't forget. So in execution, remember we talked about the doo-doo system?
Yes.
Dude.
Nobody ever forgets the doo-doo system. We're not going to tell them what we don't do. We're going to tell them what we do. So it's one of my most intelligent things I've ever come up with in all the years. All right. When I sit down as the doctor, and I think doctor's been doing this, and I have a conversation with the patient, I simply say what we're going to continue to do for them. I say, Ricky Bobby, you've been a patient with us for some time now, and I think you would understand this, that we are about maintaining a high quality of service that we provide, whether it's customer service or the quality care, either one. Is that fair? He would say yes. He's not going to disagree with that. And I say, and as you probably can tell with things that are going on in the world today, insurances are making that more and more difficult. And we've always been an in-network provider. And here's the deal. We found a loophole. We found a way to continue to provide that same level of service that you're accustomed to while still taking care of your insurance billing and having your insurance pay us directly. And so at your next visit, you will see no financial change. Write that down because I want to come back to that. You will see no financial change at your next visit when you see Luanda. And we're going to show you how us using your open network dental plan works beautifully in a comprehensive care office like ours. Does that sound okay to you? Do you hear the tone of my voice? So what we're going to do is we're going to bill your insurance. Your insurance is going to pay us directly, and they're going to pay for your appointment. Now, at some point down the road, maybe you end up with a copay, $5, $10, $20, just like you would with medical insurance. We'll let you know ahead of time if that's the case. How does that sound to you, Ricky Bobby? Oh yeah, totally get it. I mean, things are crazy out there. Inflation's nuts. Everything's going up. I totally get what you're doing, whatever. That's the responses you're going to hear. If you hear, oh no, I have to go to an in-network dentist, then here's what you say. You say, oh, well, help me understand why. Let me understand. I need to understand that from my perspective. That way I can help my patients better. What are they going to say?
So that we don't have to pay anymore.
Yeah, they assume they're going to have to pay anymore. What did I just say 5 minutes ago? I told you to write down 5 seconds ago.
That we're gonna
No
take care of
financial
your
change.
financial.
Yeah, you're not going to notice any change financially. So I don't see the correlation, Mrs. Jones. You and your 17 kids can still come here. We're still going to bill your insurance, and you will see no financial change at your next visit. Now, if she comes back for an appointment in 6 months with her 17 kids and her insurance sucks and there's no coverage, then we pull the plug. But we won't know until we get there. And only 5 to 10% of the plans are going to be crap. So everybody should get it. Everybody should want to schedule their next appointment. The patient should perceive it as there's no risk involved. This is a no risk situation for them. They leave, the doctor leaves the hygiene chair. Patient looks at Luanda and goes, what does all that mean? Luanda then says, listen, we've really figured out a great way to take great care of patients and maximize your insurance. Karen will explain it to you beautifully. I just want you to know there's nothing to worry about from a financial standpoint at all. It's beautiful. You're going to love it.
So what if they say, but what about the next visit?
Yeah. So now we get to the next visit. And what happens, Dr. Bourne?
They owe extra.
Okay. We are going...
The second
Yep.
visit.
Okay, so let's say we get to the first visit. Let's back up. They come back in 6 months. We bill it as out of network. It comes back and oh shoot, it's not quite where I wanted it to. You guys have two choices. You've been writing off 43%. How painful would it be for you to write off 10%?
We've already. I mean, I'm telling them if there's a discrepancy, if there's something out of your pocket that you weren't expecting next time around, then we're going to write it off as a courtesy to you. So you'll know going forward. That's what I've been saying.
That's it. I'm done. All right. We're done here, guys. All right. We'll see you. All right. This is exactly what we're going to say. The next visit, you come in, you're going to see no financial change. If something comes up, we're going to pay for you next time. So we're learning together. That's our promise to you. And then if that's the case, we can decide. You have two choices. You could write it off that day or you could bill the patient. I would say write it off that day because it's going to be like 10%. If it's 42%, so what? That's what you've been doing the whole time anyway. And now you make the phone call to the patient. You go, Mrs. Jones, you and your 17 kids are very expensive for us. Your insurance is requiring us to write off 42%. That was $500 for us for you guys to come in. So 2 options, Mrs. Jones. And start making payments every month for future visits. If you want like a layaway plan, you could do something like that. You can contact your employer and get a non-PPO plan and come see us so they cover everything. Or you can switch dental offices and see if you can get just as good a care somewhere else. I doubt it. And you laugh about it. Okay. And we're here for you. We just want you to know that we covered it for you today. You're not going to see any bill from us as part of our promise to you. Make sense?
Yes. And
This.
then offer like maybe a membership plan.
Okay. All right. Good. So let me back up one step, Lauren. So that's called the olive branch. You guys know what it means to offer an olive branch to somebody? Peace offering, right? It's called the olive branch. Okay. So our promise to them, for their next visit with the hygienist is going to be like that. We're not going to be out of network for 6 months. So if they need dentistry, get it done now between now and the next 6 months. We're having 6 months of conversation with patients before we do that. Okay. You've been doing that for MetLife, right? These 5. Okay. Now, the membership plan, how that will work. That's a great concept. In order to have insurance and have a membership plan, they have to be fee for service. So let's say they're a Blue Cross Blue Shield. You eventually get to a place where you resign from Blue Cross Blue Shield. That patient has to pay you full fee. Well, instead of paying me $260 a day for your hygiene visit, why not enroll in our membership plan and just pay us $30? $30 a month. Everything's covered. And I will bill your insurance. I'll create the claim for you. You'll mail it. They'll reimburse you. You get to keep that money. It's a real no-brainer. Would you like to do that? That you can do, but the check from the insurance company has to go to the patient, not to you. You need to hand them a paper claim and have them mail it so they know it was done. You cannot say to the insurance company, hey, they're in a membership rate, they're getting a courtesy, a discount, but we're charging you full fee. The patient can do whatever they want. I can come to you and say, I want to enroll in your membership plan. Pay my $30 a month. Give me my invoice, and I can go bill. What are some of those companies, doctor, we were talking about at our retreat, the medical companies that cover the Christian?
Medishare?
Yeah, I don't remember the name.
Yeah, I can enroll in something here, get whatever pricing I want, and then I can go do whatever I want over here. You're not involved with that. You just happen to be creating the claim for me is all you're going to do. You'll post a zero payment to the claim. That thing's done. You're gone. You're moved on. Does that make sense? What you can't do is get assignment of benefits sent back to you and be in the membership plan.
Yeah, I'm not seeing to me, the concept of they have insurance, they're also using a membership plan. I would think that wouldn't be a very common thing, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, the only time it's common is if they're Blue Cross Blue Shield and you're out of network, or Delta Dental and they're out of network. Because those two insurance companies will send you.
Blue Cross Blue Shield right now.
What's that?
We're in network with Blue
Yes,
Cross.
I know. When you're at some point, when you're out of network, it's a different phase for us. When we phase things out, it will be something we deal with at the end. What I want to do, what I told Dr. Boren is, our plan is to resign from the no-brainers first. These insurance companies that you're dealing with now, these first 5, they're just going to pay you. A few plans are going to be, okay, Olive Branch, you're probably going to lose some patients. But if you lose 10% of your patient base in those 5 plans, but those rest of the 90% are paying you the 42% more, it's a win. I've helped 2 doctors resign from Delta this year. They weren't in network with anything else. So from Delta, both of them, okay, one doctor went from 4 days to 3 days and is collecting $40,000 more a month. Okay. The other doctor added an associate. He had 4 hygienists, went to 3 hygienists, lost a whole hygienist, 4 days a week of hygiene, added an associate. They're down 15% in production, and they're up, just did it yesterday, 60,000 a month in collections. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Decreasing production, going from 8 root canals a day to 6 root canals a day, and increasing collection monthly, because we're still collecting 2 to 3 more of those procedures per day.
Right.
Here's the caveat. When you're dealing with 5 of these plans, you're only dealing with 25% of your practice. Both of those ones I'm talking about, they were like 50% of their practice were Delta.
Mm.
And the patient is paying all of it up front for Delta. 100% UCR, getting reimbursed very low rates. Now, here's something for us to understand. Did they marry you for the money, or do they really love you? Now, we've all seen the movie, pick a movie, where somebody falls in love with somebody because they're after the money, and then the money's gone, and they go, at the movie, you're going, oh, please be in love, please really be in love for the real reason, right? You know what I'm talking about? I should write a movie. So if you change the financial relationship between you and your patients and they leave you, they didn't marry you out of love. They just were coming because of your relationship with the insurance company. Now, what happens in some of those movies is They break up, they dump them. Oh, you don't have any money. And they go try the field. A lot of fish in the sea. And they just find a bunch of crud and they come crawling back. Then it's a really good movie. You're going to have some patients who are going to leave and they're going to come back, right? A real tearjerker. You know, right as I'm about to get on the plane, she comes crawling back. I got no money, but she comes crawling back. I'm such a goob. All right. So make sure that you understand something. Some people are going to leave. Some of those people are going to come back. They're going to see what else is out there and go, that ain't so great. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So execution. Make sure that every day morning huddle, you're identifying who has these insurance plans. Doctor goes into hygiene, has that conversation, just like I shared with you guys. You guys support that conversation throughout the office. Olive branch if we need to in 6 months, which is coming up for the MetLife, those 5, that's coming up, right? You're getting ready to send the letter. So that means in 30 days. Oh, by the way, don't be surprised, Karen, Dr. Boren, if they lose your letter. Oh, we never received that letter. If you don't get confirmation that they've received their letter, you should get a confirmation back from the insurance company that says you're effectively out of network by this date. This is your out of network effective as of this date. If you don't get that notification back within 15 days, you're to call them. You're allowed to call them every 15 days and say, did you get our letter? Well, I'm going to resend it. If they haven't got the letter in 15 days, they did. They just acted like they didn't. And you just keep sending it.
Correct.
And I had a client in Modesto trying to get out of Aetna. Aetna requires 90 days notice. And finally, we sent it certified letter because we had sent it so many times. Sent it certified letter. It came back. They didn't sign for it. You just got to keep calling. Finally, he was able to get out of network. But let me ask you a question. Why would Aetna not want you to be out of network?
Well, I guess because
They're
they're losing money because
They're paying in-network dentists lower than they're paying out-of-network dentists.
Yeah, sure.
You think it wouldn't be that way, but that's the way it is. The check will come to you. They will pay you your fee. The patient will pay the difference. Now, mathematically, what does that mean for the patient? When they do restorative or major, there's going to be an increase in the copay.
Right.
Okay. The average fee, if you think about it like this, let's say it's a $250 filling. Okay. Let's use $200. This is a round number. And they're making you write off. So let's say you were getting 120 for it. Okay. So we're going from 200 to 120. Their copay on 120. What's 20% of 120? $26.
Oh, thank you.
Something like that. $24. Something like that. Okay. I think it's $24. Now, what's the copay of 20% on $200?
40.
$40. Their copay just went up $16 for a filling. Is that a big deal?
Not that big. No.
I think that's doable. I think that's nothing to worry about. Now, for a crown, what's your office fee for a crown, Karen?
Again,
It's 1,400 and something.
905.
He's talking about our.
So that's about what you're getting is $905, but we're charging $1,400. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're doing a $500 write-off. So right now, patients paying $450, half of the $900, $450, but they're going to start paying half of $1,400, $700. So their copay went from $450 to $700. Is that a bigger amount to worry about?
Yep.
That is where, if anybody's been paying attention, they're going to see a difference. For the offices that resign from insurance this calendar year, the patient's verbal response has been, yeah, I get it. Everything's going up in price.
I have a question. I don't know if it's for you or Dr. Bourne, but so when I'm presenting treatment plans, and let's just say MetLife, someone has MetLife and I gave him a treatment plan yesterday. And the treatment plan is good for 30 days. But say we go out of network, let's just say it's January 1st. Do they still get those MetLife? I mean, that's a huge difference between the MetLife fees for say 4 fillings and 2 crowns, then our fees for 4 fillings and 2 crowns.
Yeah. Here's the answer to that. Yes. Because you gave them something in writing that's good for 90 days. Now,
Well, actually, it only says 30 days.
okay, 30 days. If it's beyond that 30 days,
We're okay.
yeah.
But I
Now,
also think that's kind of a
gray
case
area.
scenario.
Yeah, totally fine. Now, here's the
There's gonna be
thing.
people I'm gonna be saying, I'll do it at the open.
That patient has been told by doctor in the chair, as of this date, we are going to be an out-of-network provider, and I'm making all these recommendations. My encouragement to you is to get it done now. So if they schedule it now and your schedule is beyond 30 days, honor that fee.
Okay.
Okay. But eventually it's all going to filter through. You're not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
Now, here's a key thing that you brought up earlier with that Cigna claim paying 100%. Do you in your Dentrix have a bunch of fee schedules by insurance?
Yes.
Okay. You are going to have to move all of those patients to the UCR fee schedule by group or by insurance company if Dentrix is set up that way. Yeah. You got to do that. When you send the letter, you got to do that. Now, for the claims you send the last 30 days, you're going to have this big UCR. You're going to send it out. It's going to come back. You're going to have to do a write-off of 42%. It'll still be the net difference, net production, but your production is going to shoot through the roof and your write-off is going to shoot through the roof for those 30 days.
So when should I change all that? That's not manual. I can't, I mean,
Start doing that. Yeah, start doing that.
like,
Well,
you know,
when we
If
send-
anybody that we're having the conversation with that you know you're going to send the letter to, I would start doing that. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
so basically everybody we check out.
And what
Okay.
okay, so I know a little bit about Dentrix. Used to do some Dentrix training. In your family file where you have their fee schedule, it'll say insurance default. If you don't have that and you've assigned the fee schedule in the family file right by the name, address, active patient phone number, and you've put a fee schedule there, instead of it saying insurance default, then you're going to have to change it patient by patient by patient. If it says insurance default, you go to their insurance company, you open up that, it's by group now, and down in the fee schedule in the insurance data window, you double click on insurance, you go into insurance data, and it has this breakdown, insurance name, group number, address, all that. In there, it'll say fee schedule number 5, Cigna. You
That's
right
where
there,
have to be changed.
you change that to UCR, fee schedule number 1, boom. Everybody, and it'll say, do you want to make this a new insurance plan or update it for all? You'll say update it for all. Anybody who has that insurance, and up in the family file, it says insurance default, will now have fee schedule number 1.
Yeah, it's just, we have our insurance. I haven't done insurance maintenance, so let's just say one group is in there that has one family and the
A
group's
whole bunch of
multiple
times. Yep.
3 others and
Yep.
there's another
So
one
I
in-
would start. So if in that case, when we go ahead and start now, for sure, everybody start doing that now. Verify those 2 things are done. Insurance default, and then down here, fee schedule 1 for all the insurances that we're resigning from. In a month, we're now going to tackle a new set of insurances for 6 months that we're going to talk to.
Okay.
Okay. At that time, I want you to start in the 6 months. Every time a patient comes in, just over 6 months, start changing it. Your write-offs are going to look crazy weird for 6 months.
But our production actually is gonna be higher.
Your production is going to go way up.
Write-offs will be higher. The
Yep.
production will be higher as well.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So are you saying that, okay, when you say change the fee schedule to our fees?
UCR. Yep. Number 1. Yep.
Then how do you keep up with the fee schedule that they're still on actually? Are you saying, because you said fee schedule 1,
Yeah.
so we can keep that as a fee schedule 2, so I don't know how that stuff works, but.
No, you don't. You won't have to worry about that. Yeah. You
I'm just
won't
gonna do
really
it.
know. Yeah. You won't really know who. Eventually, here's what you're going to do. You could go, I just thought of something. You can go backdoor in Dentrix and go to fee schedule 6, Cigna, and make it look like fee schedule 1. You should be able to copy that fee schedule into fee schedule 6. And now everybody who has that fee schedule assigned to them is paying UCR.
Oh, okay, I know what you're saying. So then I would just have to do it like 6 times. Cause they'll all look like the standard and then update all the, okay.
I get it.
That might work. That might work.
Getting better too,
Yeah.
because what you're saying is whenever we've talked to somebody, change, go ahead and change.
One
their
at a
fee.
time.
I get it.
Yeah, I think that's possible, Karen. You'll probably need to call Dentric support and let them know, hey, I want to make fee schedule 6 look like fee schedule 1 UCR. Can I just copy and paste it to that? Might be doable. I think it is. Okay.
In the office manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know where it is.
Yeah. Procedure. Yeah. Practice setup. Okay. Now, what to say on the phone? Because here's what's going to happen. You're in this process of resigning. MetLife, you're not going to be a network with them. But this patient calls up and like Karen's example, right? And says, yeah, I want to come in. Oh, and do you take my insurance? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We don't say something like, oh, well, we used to, and we're right in the middle of resigning from that. And so I don't know really what to tell you.
So let me ask you a question on that, because this has happened. What if a patient calls and says, I'm looking for a new dentist because my dentist just went out of network. Are you in network with MetLife?
Oh, they are so lucky they went out of network. That's amazing. That's our goal. That's our goal, is to be just like them, just like every other dentist in the world wants to be out of network. And I'm laughing with you, Karen. You know why? Because here's the deal. When you're in network with insurances and with what inflation is going on right now, they're paying you pennies on the dollar, and dental office just cannot stay open. So what you're going to see is every single dental office resigning from those in-network plans, unless there's some sort of clinic and they're just running patients through. So I know I'm laughing with you about it. I know it's not a funny matter, but my suggestion would be to stick with your dentist. If they're really good, I would stick with them, and I would see, what does your insurance company pay for you to be there? Or change your insurance company plan to where you can keep going to your dentist. Because here's the deal. Yes, we are in network with MetLife right now. In about 30 days, we're going to be out of network, which means all of our patients that have MetLife will still be patients here. We're still going to bill their insurance for them, and they're still going to pay us. I don't know how your dentist explained it to you, but it really does work really well. It's a win-win for the practice and the patient. That makes sense, Karen?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what I was pretending you're the patient. Yeah. You would just ask them, say, does that make sense to you? We're just being honest with them. And you're in that limbo period right now where you are, but you're not. So we bill all of our MetLife patients the same. You have an open network plan, we'll bill it, they'll pay. Tell them what you do. We'll bill it, they'll pay us, you'll pay your copay. You have an open network plan. You get in it, you start talking to them, you look at it, you go, oh my gosh, this is AT&T retiree plan with Cigna. You know what? Here's what I'm seeing. That's okay. And you tell them, you say, you're one of the 5%, unfortunately. Your plan only allows you to go to a dentist on a list. That's unfortunate. So I would recommend looking at either a different insurance plan, or you're gonna have to try to find a plan, a participating provider in network. Yeah. That's the only way you get benefits. Or you can join our membership plan for $30 a month and get your hygiene visits completely covered. Any of those options would be great options. What would you like to do? I'm less worried about a lot of new patients not coming in. I'm not too worried about that. What you'll see is, as you get through this, they'll still come. They'll still come see you. It's the ones like you're talking about leaving because they're out of network. They just haven't had. Here's what probably happened. I wonder if you know this or not. I got a letter from my dentist saying he's no longer accepting my insurance. I'm wondering if you guys take my insurance. And what that is that was a very poorly executed plan on how to resign from insurance. Have you heard anybody say that yet?
I've heard that before.
Yeah. We never send a letter. And the patient will say, and by the way, you're going to document in your clinical notes the date and time you had this conversation with them. That way we know it happened. Okay. And we're never going to send a letter. You might have a patient say, well, why you didn't tell me why you sent a letter? Oh, I see. We talked about it 6 months ago at your appointment. We had a conversation And we're never going to send a letter on this for this kind of stuff ever. You know why? Because people misinterpret it. And we want to have a conversation with you to have clear, precise communication. We want to give you every opportunity to ask questions. We promised last time you were in, there'd be no financial change at your appointment today with Luanda. Remember that? You better remember that. It's starting to come back to you? Yeah, okay, good. Make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
I do have, I've asked you this before, but I'm concerned about the probably the fairly significant number of patients that I haven't seen, will have not have seen in the 6 months that I've been having this conversation with patients. So that's why I did want to possibly send those people a letter that have not heard anything from us. What do you think about that?
Get a couple months beyond, see how these patients are responding. When the patient calls in that you haven't seen in a long time, here's the thing. If there's been no rumbling, no problematic 5 to 10%, they're going to come in, they're going to get their benefits, and nothing's changed.
Yeah.
So why ruffle feathers if you don't have to? You can talk to them, doctor, as they're sitting in your chair if you want when they're there. Now, let's say they call up and their plan sucks. Then you're going to tell them on the phone. That's when you tell them. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, same insurance, Ricky Bobby? Yeah. Okay. So you have AT&T, Retirees, Cigna. So here's the deal. In the last year and a half since we've seen you, we have moved to be an out-of-network provider. I didn't say we resigned, we quit, we dropped, right? We moved to be an out-of-network provider. And for all of the Cigna patients that come in, except for one plan, it's been beautiful. And that one plan has been AT&T Retirees, which unfortunately is what you have. Is that the insurance you still have? That's where you'll have to catch it. Okay.
I'm just talking about, specifically what I'm talking about is someone who, so I've gone out of network or I've informed MetLife I'm going out of network. So they send a letter out to everybody. And I'm talking about those people that get that letter without hearing anything from me. A letter from me would be my
Oh, gotcha. They are going to get a letter from the insurance company. Now, keep in mind, this patient hasn't seen you in 18 months. They get a letter from the insurance company. I mean, maybe they don't see you anymore. I don't know. Could you send a letter to them? Oh, I said, that's the second one of the day. Could you send a letter to them? Yes, you could send a letter to them. I don't know that it's going to prompt them to come in and see you. What do we accomplish by doing the work of sending the letter to these people? That's, I guess, what I would challenge you with.
We would accomplish them hearing from me and not just the insurance.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I will say go for it, and then you're going to be my guinea pig. You're going to tell me how that turns out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because here's the deal. I just don't send letters.
Okay.
When you get a letter from someone and you start reading it, do you ever notice you read like the first line of the paragraph, and you're kind of like skimming it, and you're reading it in your own tone, and it just doesn't hit the same way. So let's work on the letter together. Send me an example and I'll work on it. It should say something like this. You've probably received a letter from your insurance company claiming about I'm out of network with their insurance plan. This is a ploy to get them to save money. We are still billing your insurance company. We are still receiving benefits in our practice. We would love to talk to you about this. Please give us a call. Man, that's good.
Oh, that scares me.
It does.
Yeah, please give us a call. Do you know how many people are gonna call?
I don't know.
A lot.
So you could say at the end, you could say, when you're ready to schedule an appointment, please give us a call. We would love to see you for your first your visit. When you're ready to schedule, or how about this? When you're in for your appointment with us, we will be happy to go over this with you in more detail.
Sure.
The mastermind. There we go. All right. Love it, love it. Anything else about the insurance-free process? Okay.
Not yet.
Here's
Go
what
back.
I need. All right, here's what I need. Let's review. Let's review the plan. Okay, you ready? Every day, doctor's given names of people he's going to have these conversations with. Never more than 25% of your practice base at a time. Doctor, you're going to be talking to Ricky Bobby, Cal Naughton, Betty White, Betty Boop. You're going to talk to these patients you can talk to today. He's going to have the conversation. We're going to document that we had the conversation. We're going to do that for 6 months. We're going to have the olive branch ready to offer them. In that 6 month time, Karen, we're working on changing their fee schedule. Right? Now, I'm going to need feedback from you. I'm going to look at the tracker. Doctor fills out a tracker for me. It's going to show me, whoa, production went way up and write-offs went way up. I'll know what we're doing. And then all of a sudden, production is going to stay up and write-offs are going to disappear and collections are going to go up. That's what we're looking to see. Now, I'm going to get doctor out of this hole where he's paying patients to see them. I'm going to get him back to a healthy financial place. Okay? Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yeah.
beautiful. Let's do it. Okay. Any questions about insurance for me? Anything I didn't make clear?
No.
We're good right now.
All right.